everybody, welcome back to Melanin Minds, the show where we are highlighting Black women and femmes who are in the comic book and manga industry. Today, I don't know who heard, but I'm re-recording like the last few episodes of the season because they got deleted thanks to the recording software. So, yeah. But that's okay. We come back. We're over the fussing and crying about it, not literally. And we're just going to record better episodes than we did the first time around. That's all that matters. But I have an awesome person coming on today. She's an artist, background artist. She's been an intern with Midnight Comics. Obviously not the same person from the last episode. She's done animation. She graduated for animation, has a beautiful little setup. She's an amazing animator. Actually is kind of in the background still, I hope, working on a few things that maybe she'll share with us if she's willing to. She's done so much in the last year. It's crazy. But yeah, it's been part of the art team. It's done, at this point, some character designs, background designs, building designs, hint, designs, worked on Chiroptera. So now she's released a book with a team of people. Golly, been able to do conventions. Just she's been out here. She's been out here working, and I'm very proud. Honestly, to be fair, I'm proud of all the interns, but I am also very proud of Michaela.
Hey guys, hi. Don't mind the mess. Don't look at the weird pillow. How are you?
This pillow.
It's bothering me.
She's over here looking like Corey Starfire, just with this amazing hair, and she thinks we're worried about a pillow.
A pillow? Yeah, I know. It's because it's okay. To be fair, it's because it's like weirdly deflated, and it's bothering me.
Maybe because I don't know what the pillow usually looks like. I don't see it. I'm not seeing it. It looks like a regular pillow to me. But I also understand the obsession.
Potential.
Yeah. I get it. As a fellow neurodivergent, I get it. But thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming back, because I know you're like, oh, we did this already.
No, actually, it's horrible. It's really awful that you lost your footage, but I'm happy because I get to be in my own room.
That's fair, because you weren't home last time.
Yeah, that was stressing me out. And I was all like, this time the internet will be on my side and I can be in my own room.
It's cute. I think it makes for a good backdrop. You've got the plants at the top.
Yeah.
The poster, I can't see what it is, but it's very aesthetically pleasing.
Thank you. See, that's why I was like, you're like, we got to do it again. And I'm like, yeah. Because I feel like when we recorded it the first time, I'm very thankful for my friend, but his room is very empty.
I mean, it was, but it made for just a nice plain background too. It wasn't bad. It was just empty.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't me. You could see my personality.
That's fair.
In my room.
That's fair. It does really fit you too.
Yeah.
But I'm going to let you tell everybody about your journey in comics and animation. I don't feel like we touched on the animation as much last time, and I realized that, and I was like, oh no, we gotta fix that. So since we're back, we're gonna fix that. Okay. Your journey just getting into comics and anime and getting into animation and all that stuff.
So since we've last spoken, there's been a lot that has happened, a lot of random side quests that I've done. So I'll try to do like a quick rundown. So when it comes to animation, I went to Sam Houston State University, and that's when I majored in animation. And honestly, it gives you a newfound appreciation for what all these animators do. Because granted, you see the process and we know it's hard, but it's completely and totally different when you are doing it in like utilizing whatever software that you use, or like, let's say you have preferences as tiny as like, oh, I like animating on a tablet, or oh, I like animating on an iPad, and then you got to get used to or become more versatile on which you want to use. And if you want to be a 3D animator, God bless your soul. That's not for me. That is not for the weak. Um, and if you want to be a TV animator, which is like that's more my speed, but I also realize you need patience. Like you need a lot of patience. And like jumping back into animation and just making animations for myself, I was like, oh wow. Like, because I took a break, I was like, wow, like how did I do this? Because when you do things for yourself, sometimes you don't give yourself a deadline, and that's like the downside of it, right? But when I worked for you guys, you lovely human beings, I was a character designer. I did background art for my comic, Karatera. Shout out to my team. They're wonderful. Wouldn't ask for a better team because they're so patient with me because they understand like all the stuff I've been through with my job, just sucking the life out of me. Anywho. Yeah. So that's why some things have kind of been like kind of slowed down a bit now, but luckily we do have our page, IndieComics. You can follow us on Instagram. Yeah. Where we will be hopefully, wink, wink, selling more copies. Yeah. For the people. We've heard the masses talk about, hey, I want my comic. I don't care how you supply it. Give it to me. And I'm like, okay, I hear you. So that's happening. Also, I've been learning how to crochet. So hopefully we can really get those hats. Okay.
That's all I need. I want my froggy hat. It'll be nice and comfortable, and it will have a little froggy on it. It'll look just like the mascot.
So that is in the making. I'm learning how to crochet. My friend is also telling me is trying to get me into knitting. We'll see where that goes. So one way or another, I may be contributing and making some merch.
Yeah. Between you and Lloyd working together on this crocheting thing.
Great.
Yeah, I gotta learning crochet too. So, like,
I always wanted to learn. It's just I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna commit because my local library had classes. Funny enough, so I didn't know that. I was like, okay, apparently I need to be more a part of my community, so I can do random free things. So that's how I figured it out. I thought it would be like a random leap of faith, and I thought it'd be really cool. And I was like, I want to know how to make like merch, but besides that, but make my own clothes anyways. So I was like, okay, let's do that, and that's how it just took off from there. But as far as the comic goes, we're under construction when it comes to other things such as like branding, like logos and stuff of that nature. So that's coming soon too. So, and luckily I think I have more time now because my job has kind of chilled out. Like there's some sort of resolve. So
that job. That was problems. Also, shout out to local libraries for all the resources that they provide. Libraries are important. Libraries need funding. Please support your local library. Get a library card. You can do a lot of things for free when you have a library card. I am at my local library almost every other day. Please support your local libraries. Thank you.
You really should, because I like I mentioned, okay, like we have such a nice library, and I just go up there just to be there, but they actually have events, and I was like, oh, and then when people sign up from those events are booked. I tried to go to a sewing class, and I had to be put on a wait list. I didn't know how serious it was, and it's not like, okay, you got an event at a library, it's just a bunch of senior citizens. No, it's all ages.
There's only one thing at my local library that outside of the like senior specific events that is mostly seniors, and that's the jewelry class my daughter takes on Wednesdays. So she's the youngest person in there because everyone else is my grandmother's age. But yeah, other than that, it's all youth, young adults, middle aged, I guess. I don't want to claim that, but
oh no. The competition is like real steep, okay?
But back to you though. What was a big motivator for you while y'all were working on Chiroptera specifically? Because a lot went into that.
A lot did go into it. I think a big motivator for me is actually, it's gonna sound corny, like oh my gosh. But it's my team. My team is a big motivator for me. And because they're also multifaceted and talented, but also I think I tend to work better with deadlines when I know people are relying on me. When people are relying on me, I was like, okay, I gotta get it done. I can't lollygag and frolic in the fields like I usually do with myself. All right. But I think they're a big motivator because they give you constructive criticism. We're all very like, and when I say constructive criticism, I actually mean constructive criticism because I know some people tend to get that misconstrued and be all like, I'm just giving you constructive criticism. And then like they're just being rude. But
jumping on you.
I think they're a big motivator for me because when, let's say, during the revising process, which it took a lot of revisions because we would constantly have ideas and we'll be like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Let's do this. And then it was supposed to be this compact idea and then it started expanding and then we had to compact it again and then we kept going off the rails and then, no pun included, we just compacted again. So I definitely think they're my motivators because even though we were supposed to just have a very niche concept, I think us bouncing ideas off of each other, it's like it's really helpful. It really puts it into perspective. Like maybe if you weren't thinking about this one thing, then another person was, and they're just so creative. And I'll be like, I would have never thought of that. I would have never came to this solution. And I think that's another thing. They're really good at problem solving. You know, instead of, let's say you think it needs to be one way, then my team would be like, oh, well, how about this? Or maybe we could do this, or maybe we combine this. And I really appreciate that.
Don't sell yourself short. You are very, very creative. But I think it's a thing where when a bunch of minds come together, everyone's has a different perspective on what's happening, and that helps you to broaden your horizons away from just what you thought of. So like, it doesn't make you're not any less creative than any of the rest of the people on the team. I know all of y'all relatively well at this point. Some of you I've known since before y'all were in this program, and you guys are all amazingly talented. I think just you guys coming together as amazingly talented people just made you all shine so much more. Did you take any of your animation training to help you with creating like the backgrounds and stuff? Because I know you specifically like did the train design.
Oh yeah, I did. A lot of it was like because I was like, I don't want to spoil anything because not everyone has the comic. I wish you guys would get it now so I can talk about it more. But I definitely think from the classes that I was taught when it came to animation, it definitely helped when it came to the background design, like the devil itself, perspective. Again, this is like having like sometimes when you do a background, you utilize a grid to help you lay out like how it's supposed to look, so therefore it doesn't look wonky when you import the characters onto the background. So I will say that helped a bunch. Pinterest still helps a bunch, and just looking at random websites like that utilize perspective. It's usually perspective. That was beating me up a lot, but it did. So, and then like it just helped with the storyboarding process. Like I would work with Christopher, specifically the other artist on the team, and I would ask her specifically like, hey, how do you want this to be laid out so it just doesn't like look so jarring, and what do we have envisioned? Because you know it's different from when you read it off the script versus when you're trying to translate that visually on a piece of paper through art, right? So you can probably be as descriptive as you want to in a script or perhaps a novel, right? But you got to make sure that translate and the viewer can understand what's properly happening through art. And that can be a little tricky because it's just more so like it's open to interpretation, essentially. So you're trying to figure out how to confine that.
Yeah. And of course, I can't, won't draw. So I only understand this from the writer's side of things. I know I try to be so like lenient with artists, especially good artists that do good work. So like when you said like the gridding thing, like I've heard of that. Can you explain that a little bit more, like gridding to make backgrounds?
So usually, when it comes to that, is like you use like the 2/3 rule. So therefore, things aren't just stagnant, and it makes things look more interesting and more dynamic. Because like the goal is to make things not look stagnant, and you can fall into that very easily because we like humans like symmetry. We like things like that. So by default, let's say like I'm drawing a picture and I place someone dead smack in the middle of the page. Well, and that's it. Now that's a little boring, right? So sometimes you use the rule of thirds, or sometimes, okay, maybe you want to keep that person in the middle of the page. How do you make that more dynamic, and how do you make that more interesting? You utilize foreshortening, you utilize perspective, because there's different types of perspectives, right? So it's just a lot of things to come into into account when it comes to it. A lot of things, especially since I was a self-taught artist, a lot of things, like when you go to an institution to learn art, you have to unlearn a lot of things and be open to learn new things, and it's very difficult when you're so used to doing it a certain way. I will say, even though you're a self-taught artist, like, yeah, we can go out and watch tutorials, read books and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure we do, but sometimes like we just kind of wing it.
That's fair. My daughter draws and it's pretty much self-taught, and so I watch her and she just be doing stuff, and I'm just like, hey, whatever floats your boat, whatever helps you learn. But
Yeah.
the 2/3 thing, the rule of thirds thing, okay, I can understand that if I relate it to recording videos a little bit, because I know when you're recording videos and doing film, it's the same rule applies. So that helps me understand a little bit better. Well, but what made you decide on animation specifically as far as school?
I've always wanted to be an animation major. Initially, when I got to college, I decided to be a graphic design major, and that's how they scammed me and kept me there for all 4 years. Anywho,
You sound like Lloyd.
I have a vendetta, a silent one, but I always wanted to be an animation major because I was so inspired by anime growing up, anime and Sonic, and I really thought it was really cool watching it growing, like as I was growing up. Not to say I wasn't inspired like by Pixar, I was, but I really liked anime, and I was like, I'm seeing a person that looks like me, like, and that looks like it's hard. It looks like there's a lot of detail, and it's not 3D animation. I just more so, I think I just kind of connected better with it. And then on top of that, I feel like they were more versatile in a sense where they blatantly talked about more adult issues. I could just see myself more when it came to that. And it all initially started with me in like the first or second grade, and I saw this girl drawing and I thought it was cool. And so she's drawing Bratz dolls, and I was like, I want to do that. And so I just started copying her, and I started drawing, and then I slowly got better over time as time progressed. So and then it slowly turned into me getting into anime and whatnot. And then I was like, I want to make my own anime. I think that'd be cool to just be talking to the masses and this come up and show them my creativity, and just essentially like just communicating with others through art. I think that was like the biggest thing for me.
Okay. Excuse me, sorry. So you've been doing art, you're self-taught artist, you see this random post about a comic book company looking for interns. What is your thought process, and what convinced you that you should apply?
What happened is I freshly graduated, and I was like, I need to do something with my life. You know, I got to stay busy. And my friend Chloe, who is in charge, or the CEO or CEO of Bottlescape, she reached out to me, and she had said, hey, I saw this thing. You know, I saw this flyer about Midnight Comics needing interns. I think you should apply. And I was like, oh, okay, because I wasn't on social media like that. I was fresh to it. And I honestly downloaded social media because it was needed for an assignment. And if it wasn't for that, I would have never had social media. But she sent it to me. I filled it out, and I was like, they're not going to get back to me. They're not going to reach out to me. Because I was like, I saw the follower count, and I was like, everyone and their mama is going to want to do this, dude. Like, they're not going to have the time to look at my stuff. And then I was just overthinking. And I think DreamCon was right around the corner, too. So I was like, I just threw my hat in, and I was like, well, that was fun. And I said that I went on with my day. And then you guys got back to me, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I felt like I was going to poop my pants because it was so intimidating for me. And I was like, this whole time I've been playing it down. And I was like, they're not going to talk to me just for you guys to talk to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening. They're talking to me. And then you guys were in the interview, and you were like, so what do you bring to the table? And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know.
And now she realizes that was us trying to be professional. Because we be in the Discord with everybody cutting up.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, the Midnight Comics is talking to me. And you guys were like, yeah, and we did this and we did that, and we're so qualified. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I was like, I do cool stuff. I draw. Like, that's all I got.
And we make comic books, and the biggest part of comic books is art.
Yeah.
Let this be a lesson to you guys. Just do the thing.
Wing it.
You never know.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen that time, okay, cool. But you did it.
Yeah. Think first, act later.
At least in these instances.
In this, yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't work out.
Don't do that with everything.
And now we chilling. We be in there cutting up. We all we be having just random conversation. We was watching anime together for a little while, and then until we all got sidetracked and kind of forgot about anime days. We need to get back to that. But just do the thing.
I tried to watch Kokono no Basket because I remember y'all were watching that. I was like, no, let me watch the movie on my own. I can't watch it with you guys. And so I tried to watch the movie. Just know I tried to watch the movie. And
that's with the movie. You should have started with the movie. You should have started with the series.
No, because I watched the series and I was all like, they had a movie this whole time and I didn't know. And I was like, I gotta watch it. And I tried to watch it. I was crying the first 5 minutes because I was like, I do not remember the voice acting being this bad.
You watched it? You watched the dub?
I watched it in dub and sub, and it was still bad because they were doing this thing where it's like, okay, so Kagami, he is from America, and then he moved to I was gonna say New York, no, in Japan, and so he's the designated translator because they're like, oh my gosh, English, and the English voice acting, even for people who are Native Americans, it's so bad.
Yeah, the translating, even because I don't think we've ever watched the dub. But
I tried to watch it.
It's hilarious. It's just like, what is?
I tried to watch it in both because the dub was bad, and I was like, okay, well, surely the sub isn't going to be bad. No, the sub was bad too.
I just enjoy it so much that I was just like, it's okay. We just watch the plot. Only watch my sons play basketball.
I think I was just taken aback because when I watched the series, I still love the series, even though I'm talking trash about it. I still love the series.
Well, you're talking about the movie. You're only talking about the movie.
But it's when they get to the English and they start trying to translate, it gets real interesting.
It is interesting. If you haven't seen it, you should give it. If you haven't seen Croco's Basketball, watch the series first, but then try the movie. I still enjoy it. I'm gonna go back and rewatch the movie and have more willpower to finish it this time because I was crying. You gotta finish it so you can watch the second one.
Yeah, there's a second one.
There's 2 movies.
Oh my gosh, see, I'm so out of the loop. But I do find it funny when they make Americans in the anime because you could tell, like, they're like, look how you can tell that they're American. Their hair is dyed and they got all these piercings and tattoos.
Whoa.
And I was like, that
Or
is
conversely, you get the Bandit Keith type of American, the country redneck with the
yeah,
"I love America."
yeah. And I always find that hilarious. That's so funny to me.
I've never heard anyone else say that but me. Hilarious.
Because why not? Why are we not adding emphasis on the high?
Yeah, exactly. See, somebody else gets it. They
I
also
get
say
it.
high low sometimes instead of hello. Say high low.
That's different.
High
That's
and
different.
low. I don't say it much anymore.
Oh, were they getting on you about that?
No, just nobody else was saying it.
Oh, okay.
But, is there any lessons that you've learned throughout this internship that you would like to share with other people?
I think while I was in this internship, I think the biggest lesson for me to learn is give yourself some grace and have some patience with yourself. Because I am a perfectionist, but it's really weird how the execution goes, right? And I realized also, I was like, not everything's gonna be perfect. Like right now, we're currently, IndieComics is under construction, and I know we want to do everything perfect by the book. Like, hey, get this done, do your business cards, do this or that before you officially have people buy comics. But I realized I was like, hey, I just had a different random thought, and I was like, hey, while we're under construction, we can still probably just sell the comics because people still thoroughly enjoy it. Just sprinkle it here and there in the meantime, in between time, because sometimes it's just things aren't going to go as planned where you want everything done right by the book. Preferably, I would prefer it to be that way, but sadly, life happens, and with everything going on with people just getting severely burnt out and just exhausted with everything that's happening, unemployment, I was like, you know what, let's just kind of take a breather. It is that deep, but it's not that deep. Like this, we'll get to it when we get to it, but in the meantime, in between time, let's just kind of enjoy the moment, sell the comics, since people also enjoy it. They enjoyed it while we were, doing our Kickstarter, and we weren't really well known like that either. So I was like, I think they'll still appreciate it regardless. They just want to appreciate art. And I think sometimes we kind of get in our own way, and it kind of stops our success, at least for me. I know I do, because I'm so used to wanting to do everything right by the book and doing things that the exact way, like how it's supposed to be, or what you were taught how it's supposed to go, but some things just don't go as planned.
Yeah, and you definitely have some little perfectionist qualities occasionally, but what I do love is you never let that stop you though from actually doing stuff. We did have someone else that was in there for a minute who was so perfectionist that they never finished any of their projects.
Mm-hmm.
Never saw anything from them, and was like, well, you can't do anything if you don't finish projects.
Yeah, and I
There's nowhere to go from
understand
here.
that. I do understand that, because I used to be like, well, it doesn't look like this, and it doesn't look good enough, and blah blah. Something is just better than nothing.
Yeah, sometimes something is definitely better than nothing.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys, as far as Hyla goes, yeah, having a website and business cards and all that jazz is nice, which business cards you can do for free on like Canva or Photoshop or something. But
Mm-hmm.
I've known people who have sold their comics from their DMs. And they just be like, hey, if you're interested in the comic, DM me and I can get it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Pay through PayPal or Cash App. PayPal probably is more trustworthy.
It definitely is.
You have the guarantee of being able to get your money back if you don't get it or something like that. But some people have done Cash App, and it's just people are like, I want the book. If that's how I got to get it, that's how I'm going to get it.
And it works the same, and you're building a community. And I think that's another thing I want to thank Midnight Comics for, because it did help me reach out to people and get out of my comfort zone when it comes to like just simply doing this. Because I would have never thought I would do this in a million years, and just sitting in an interview on a camera talking in general, just talking. uh, but I am, and I had to push myself out of my comfort zone, or like marketing in a sense, when I was reaching out to other platforms and asking them if they were okay with doing interviews and if they minded sharing on their story or posting on their story, chiroptera and whatnot, because that's within itself, it's a little intimidating.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy to think that you would never think that, because the way you are a monster at getting to people to be like, hey, so I got a thing. You have a show.
Yeah, because I had the mindset, because at first I was like, I don't want to bother them, and I don't want to look a certain way where it's like, oh, you just want to use my platform. I know there's a specific way or maybe a better angle to conduct yourself, so hopefully I can figure that out. But in the
You've been doing a good job.
But in the meantime, in between time, I was like, there's a goal. The worst thing they're going to do is either say no or they're just not going to reply. And if they don't, then you got to keep pushing and then reach out to the next person.
Yeah, I agree. But you did that, though. I think most of the interviews y'all got, with like exception of 3 or 4 people that we were like, well, we'll talk to them. But for the most part, it was like, well, we know them. Here you go. Here's their information. Reach out to them.
Mm-hmm.
You booked all these interviews.
Yeah.
So there is definitely probably a really good, if you wanted to do like marketing and outreach. I forget what the actual word is right now, but if you wanted to do something like that, you probably have a good turnaround to go ahead and launch something like that off, because you was getting it in, and you was booking interviews. For those who don't know, which probably everyone besides the 3 of us, Michaela booked some of our interviews for our Kickstarter. Like, she was moving, she was doing work. Like,
I was definitely asking people. I was like, hey, do you know that anybody who could do this and do that? Because I was like, I was really trying, because I really appreciate all the stuff and the opportunity that you guys gave me. So in return, I was like, do you know someone? Do you know someone? Do you? Like, I was bothering people. I was really pestering them. And I did feel a little bad, because I was like, dang, I hope they don't think I just reach out to them when I need something promoted. That's why I was like, I need to figure out the art or the etiquette when it comes to something like that. But I was like, I didn't really care at the moment, because I was like, these people helped me, so I'm going to help them for helping me.
yeah, there you go. You figured it out right there. A lot of it comes down to, because you don't really know these people, so a lot of it will come down to when they need something shared or something, share it, comment on their post, and all that kind of stuff. The same thing you do with other people. That's really the biggest way of building that community right there.
Yeah.
Be in community, support, even if the support means commenting, liking, sharing type stuff, and then you're in community. You've done your part. So, what was maybe either the hardest part or like the biggest jump for you, going from, freshly graduated animation student to now you're technically a professional comic creator?
I like the sound of that. Professional, real cute ring to it. Um, I think the hardest jump is honestly just the beginning stages. Like, once you're in the thick of it, then I think it's like, okay, you're fine. But I think it's the beginning stages of just putting yourself out there, because I feel like that's always like the hardest part for anyone, because it's like the fear of the unknown. Ooh. Anyways, so I think that's what it was for me, because I'm kind of socially awkward. I kind of keep to myself, so like the idea of putting myself out there is jarring. I still get nervous when it comes to regular job interviews and presenting myself to people. You know, so sometimes I can switch into a mode where it's like, hey, you just fake it till you make it, and it's be happy when it's over. But sometimes it's just more like I'm still getting used to the feeling. I'm still getting accommodated to certain things where I think like I said, I never thought I would do this, but here I am. I'm doing it. So sometimes it feels like an outer body experience for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you, because we're probably going to wrap it up, give some words of wisdom for people who are in that position right now. Maybe they're fresh out of school, jumping into the professional world of comics, animation, all those things. What would you tell them?
I would definitely say you got to get out of your head. You do have to get out of your head, and trying is better than like not trying at all. You don't want to be a shoulda, woulda, coulda. You don't want to be that person where it's like, well, you know, if only I would have done this, and wonder about the what ifs, right? I would rather you do it, so therefore you can have an answer. That's, at least for me, I prefer having an answer, right? So then perhaps maybe with that answer, and sometimes you will get rejected. Someone will say no to you or not reply to you, and then it will probably hurt your feelings. But just know there's always other opportunities to put yourself out there, and also sometimes just ask for feedback, you know, because sometimes it's not necessarily you that's the problem. Maybe it's just how you approach things, or sometimes it has nothing to do with you entirely, you know. So sometimes putting yourself out there and asking like, hey, what can I improve on, what, you know, what happened, can we maybe converse about this? Sometimes they'll just be honest with you and be like, hey, you know, we're looking for someone at this level, I really do like you, if there's an opening, I'll reach out to you, or maybe we can figure out something else we can do with you, or we'll collaborate later on, or maybe today is not your time but tomorrow is, you know. I just say you got to get out of your head, because as someone who has imposter syndrome, it is it's very intimidating. It's very daunting. But I would rather just, you know, do it just to say I did it. Sometimes just do that. Let's come with that approach. Like, do it just to say that you did it, so I can live with no regrets. Like, dang, I wish I would have did this. Well, you don't have to say that to yourself because you did it.
Very fair. All right. Well, go ahead and tell everyone where they can find you, and Hyla Comics. So do both of them, not just Hyla
Okay.
Comics. I'm watching you.
So you can find me on Instagram, because that is the only type of like social media I utilize, because all the other social media gets a little too crazy for me. But you can find me on Instagram at Mimi Stencils. If you also, because sometimes I cosplay on my personal one, it's not even private, it's very public. So if you just want to snoop, you can also follow me on Mimi Besos. So sometimes I cosplay on there, and sometimes I just take really cool pictures. Also follow Hyla Comics for more Hyla comic related news and updates on comics, and just watch our journey and how we evolve, you know, between the five of us blooming. Yeah.
Okay. And definitely do follow them, by the way. I'm so proud of all of them. They've done amazing things. They're going to do so many more amazing things. And I'm ready. I'm not going to rush y'all, but I'm going to rush y'all. Okay.
Yeah.
But guys, if you like this episode, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, share. We're trying to get the watch hours up right now. I personally, I don't even care about monetization. I really just want people watching. Like, sure, we can get monetized maybe, but I want people watching, because this show exists for a purpose, and that purpose isn't fulfilled if people aren't seeing the show. So,
I have a
like,
request.
yeah.
I wanted to shout out my team.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you though.
Please shout out the team, because I love y'all.
I wanted to shout out my teammates, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. Honestly, I wouldn't have gotten this far if it wasn't for them, and they kept their foot on my neck. So I wanted to shout out Christopher. I wanted to shout out Will, or Laura the Comics, Keandre, And I wanted to shout out Cece or Artsy Vibes, so you can find them as well.
Yep. And my plan is definitely to have all of their socials in the link and the what is it called, bio.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically you can get Koo's socials in the last video, but they'll be down here too, just in case. You can get Cece's socials in her video when we get to that. She's been very busy, very, very busy. So we haven't gotten to do her for this season. So she'll be next season. But they will all be down there. So you can follow the whole team plus the Hyla Comics page specifically just by going down into the description. That's the word I was looking for. In the description and finding all their links. Also, if anyone can get in touch with Crucifer, she should have a few extra books, as we had a few extra books, and we did send them off to her.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that we've sent them off to her already. So if you are looking to get your hands on whatever is left of Chiroptera for now until there is a new printing,
yes,
you might want to get in touch with her.
I literally just talked to her about it too, and that's what's funny.
Yeah. She just got back from her birthday Japan trip. She looked like she had a lot of fun. I'm glad.
Living my dream. Gotta be a hater. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll all get there one day.
Hopefully very soon. I finally have money. I can do things now, guys. I can do things. I can leave.
When I have money, I'll join y'all.
Okay.
But yes, guys, subscribe, share, please share the word so we can talk more about Black women in comics. This should be out before MomoCon. Find me at MomoCon in the Melanin Minds Black Women in Comics panel. It is called The Importance and Impact of Black Women in the Comic Book Space. So far, that's the only other convention I'm doing that panel at right now. Oh, and Atanadake-con. I'll also be doing that panel at Atanadake-con. That is in September. Follow Melanin Minds at Melanin Minds 24 on Instagram. And you can follow Midnight Comics everywhere at Midnight X Comics, except for Facebook and YouTube, where it's just Midnight Comics, or go to midnightcomics.org. Remember, as I always say, a small spark can become a huge flame. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Later.